Welcome to AutoZone time on Car AutoZone, where we bring you the most legendary cars in automotive history. Today we're diving into a true classic, an icon that has left an indelible mark on the world, the Volkswagen Super Beetle. This car isn't just a mode of transportation, it's a cultural phenomenon. With its unmistakable shape, reliable engineering, and undeniable charm, the Beetle is one of the most recognizable cars ever made. But today, we're focusing on a special version of this legend, the Volkswagen Super Beetle. To truly appreciate the Super Beetle, we need to take a step back and look at the history of the original Volkswagen Beetle. Born out of a vision to create an affordable and reliable car for the people, the Beetle's origins trace back to the 1930s in Germany. Designed by Ferdinand Porsche and commissioned by Adolf Hitler, the Volkswagen name literally translates to people's car. It was intended to be an accessible, practical vehicle for the masses. Production of the Beetle began in the late 1930s, but due to World War II, mass production didn't truly take off until after the war. By the 1950s and 60s, the Beetle had become an international success. It was beloved for its simple yet effective engineering, air-cooled rear-engine layout, and legendary durability. From daily commuters to adventurous road trippers, the Beetle served people from all walks of life. However, as the automotive industry evolved, the original Beetle started to show its age. Competing cars were becoming more powerful, more comfortable, and better equipped. Volkswagen knew it needed to update its classic model while staying true to its identity. That's when, in 1971, the Volkswagen Super Beetle was born. The Super Beetle was an upgraded and refined version of the original Beetle, designed to address some of the weaknesses of the standard model while maintaining its charm. At first glance, it looked very similar to the classic Beetle, but under the skin, Volkswagen made significant improvements that enhanced the car's drivability, comfort, and practicality. One of the most notable changes in the Super Beetle was its redesigned front suspension. While the standard Beetle used a torsion bar front suspension, the Super Beetle adopted a McPherson strut setup. This change made the car handle better, improved ride comfort, and created more space in the front trunk. For owners who needed a little more practicality, this was a big advantage. Another major improvement was the increased wheelbase. While the standard Beetle had a shorter wheelbase, the Super Beetle's longer design gave it more stability on the road. This made high-speed driving feel more composed and less bouncy compared to its predecessor. Volkswagen also gave the Super Beetle wider fenders, giving it a slightly more aggressive stance while maintaining its friendly rounded shape. Under the hood, or rather in the rear, the Super Beetle continued to use Volkswagen's reliable air-cooled flat-4 engine. Over the years, engine sizes and power output varied depending on the model year and region, but most Super Beetles were equipped with 1.6-liter engines producing around 50 horsepower. While that may not sound like much by today's standards, it was more than enough for city driving and cruising on the highway. One of the most appreciated upgrades in the Super Beetle was its improved interior space. The new front suspension layout allowed for more legroom, making the car feel slightly more spacious despite its compact size. The dashboard design was also updated, incorporating modernized gauges and switches while keeping that classic Beetle charm. Another big win for the Super Beetle was its heating system. Early Beetles were notorious for having weak heaters, making them less practical in colder climates. Volkswagen addressed this issue by improving the heating system, providing better warmth during winter months, something Beetle owners truly appreciated. The Super Beetle was available in different body styles, including a coupe and a convertible. The convertible version in particular became extremely popular, offering drivers a fun and open-air driving experience. Even today, vintage Super Beetle convertibles are highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts. Throughout its production, run from 1971 to 1979, the Super Beetle went through several updates. Some years saw minor cosmetic changes, while others received mechanical improvements. In 1973, for example, Volkswagen introduced a curved windshield to the Super Beetle, improving visibility and aerodynamics. The rear taillights also became larger, enhancing safety. Despite its improvements, the Super Beetle still retained the quirky and fun driving characteristics that made the original Beetle so lovable. The engine's unique air-cooled sound, the simple yet effective manual transmission, and the lightweight feel of the car made it an absolute joy to drive. It wasn't about speed or high-tech features, it was about TI,